Hello Internet, welcome back to our Refugee Center playthrough. Last episode we started working on our vehicle. This included us getting a welder, starting to do some of the basic work that we need, like putting a battery charger in here, putting in a bed and some cargo spaces. We are unfortunately waiting for the battery to charge. We're also waiting for our engine to charge our batteries, the vehicle batteries. So we did leave this car running. I'm glad I saw the sound indicators, otherwise I might not have remembered. Why don't we go grab a book? We'll read for a little while to give our batteries a chance to charge up. We're going to keep doing a little bit of vehicle work. What do we even want to read? I really wish this menu would still tell you, even when it's dark. I don't understand why it being dark prevents me from seeing what the books actually train. It's the only way to see what the books train without actually looking at them individually. So in the darkness, you cannot actually even see what the books train, and it's very annoying. So let's haul these over to the daylight and check the menu again. Like, I don't see why this can't be displayed even when it's dark. It just doesn't make sense. Like this other stuff, if you don't want to show the timing, makes perfect sense, but I don't get why you can't see what they train. We could continue raising oh no, we got electronics 3 from crafting the welder. We could continue raising first aid. Fab is not super important to me. And we don't have any other mechanics books. Super nasally. Let's grab the big book of first aid. First aid, we'll take that, and we'll haul our books back to the unsorted pile so we can quickly put them back where they belong later. Alrighty. And we'll just read for a bit. It's 1818, so go ahead and read. Excuse me. I did some real-life vehicle work today. Child spotted. Sure, we should stop and take a look around. Where are you, Zambi child? To the south. We will dispatch you, I think. Why not? Where? Along... you're very far south. We actually didn't really need to come deal with this, but that's okay. Whatever. One less zombie child now is one less zombie child later. In fact, that was resurrected. I think there are probably still some creatures in the hedge maze, but with so many of those walls, they're really not going to be a huge issue. How are our batteries doing? Very slow charge. Okay, we're going to keep reading, I guess. Oh, we're tired. It's like 7 p.m. If we go to bed now, we can actually sleep through the night. So let's turn off the charger, turn off the engine. I bet the battery is mostly charged. Oh my god, not even close. Okay. That is because we have a battery charger instead of a proper recharging station. Did I turn you off? I did. I think I did. So we'll go in here, we'll go to bed. We're not really injured. We don't need to treat our wounds. At some point, we're going to need to repair our clothing and stuff. I have not been working towards that at all, and we really don't have tailoring books, so that makes that a little bit more difficult. Let's go ahead and have ourselves asleep. Yeah, did a little bit of vehicle work today. I think we talked in a previous episode about my daily to-do list, and today my list mostly involved car stuff. Last night I was driving. Oh, we survived for a week. How about that? Thank God it's Friday. Sure. Even though we don't have days of the week. That's fine. We are slaked despite having just gotten up after sleeping for several hours. Why am I slaked? That's pretty odd. Did we cook anything we can eat? Nope, just some rotten food. We should haul that out of here at some point. I don't really feel like cooking, so let's just grab ourselves some... Actually, is it daylight? It's not. So let's go turn the engines on, and we will come back. We'll cook, and we'll read by the firelight while this charges a bit. Turn on engine. Turn on recharger. Did the engine start? It did. Head back in. Yeah, last night I was driving my route and made a turn, and my headlight went out. The driver's side headlight went out. Which, spoiler alert, when you don't have a driver's side headlight and your other light is pretty dim, you can't see anything. Usually if it's like, I have issues with my passenger headlight a lot. It has a short in it, so sometimes the turn signals will go off, or that headlight will blink out for a day and then come back. And when that one goes out, it's not a big deal because the driver's side light is the one that's directly in front of you as the driver, or nearly in front of you as the driver. And so it becomes a lot easier to drive as long as you have that light, because that's where your perspective is facing. When it's the passenger light that's on, it's very dark where you're sitting and directly in front of the driver's seat, and it's super uncomfortable. I want to look at pickled fish. All I have is pickled fish? Okay, well, that's not great. Thought we had more canned meat than that. Eat a bunch of scrambled eggs. I believe that's how you say that. Scrambled. Is it scrambled? Might be scrambled. So let's read by the firelight. That's a joke, of course. I'm just stupid. Don't mind me. So the headlight went out and blinked on the high beams, thinking it would compensate, but of course the high beam went out as well. So last night drove for probably 2 hours in the dark with only one headlight, and that headlight was pretty dim. So not super great. So I knew I left a note for my family when I went to bed saying, hey, my headlight went out. Can you pick me up one so I can put it in when I get up? And they went and got a headlight, and then went down and changed the headlight. So I did that. Okay, this battery is charged. Go ahead and turn off the recharger. And we're going to keep letting the vehicle run to charge our batteries. We have plenty of diesel, so I'm not really worried about that. Grab this battery. Do we still have the welder in our inventory? We do. Reload the welder. And we'll go put a couple more cargo spaces in until we run out of battery charge. Where are... They're underneath the smoke. That's odd. The smoke apparently completely blocks the tile underneath. Okay, let's install some cargo spaces. It was a huge pain in the butt, actually, because I can't fit my hand in to change the headlight. And it's a very tight fit, and I have these little cuts on the back of my hand now from trying to wedge my hand in there to change the headlight. And then eventually I just took the headlight, like the housing for the headlight, off. It's just bolted in there. So I just unbolted it, pulled it out, changed the headlight. Headlight works now. That's great. Noticed also that my tire was flat. I have a tire that has a leak in it. I can't really I don't know, why it has a leak in it, but it's been gradually deflating over time. And I noticed it was extremely flat this time around. Usually I just keep an eye on it every night when I stop at a store or something. I'll pop out and check, is the tire flat? Does the tire need air? And yeah, I went out and noticed it was like very, very flat. And when I went to put air in it, the tire gauge thing said it had 4 psi, which, spoiler alert, is pretty low. In fact, it frequently says 4 psi when the tire is very flat. I'm starting to think that 4 is actually the bare minimum that particular tire gauge can register. So I think it might actually be way less than that, but it just is the lowest possible display. So that's really not great. Spoiler alert, you don't want to drive on a tire that has no air in it. That's really bad for your wheel. So that's not great. So put air in the tires. Got myself a coffee, got myself a tea. Oh, yes, eat some sauerkraut. I had sauerkraut yesterday for dinner. We should probably do something with these pork and beans. Do they need cooked? They don't need cooked, right? We could probably heat them up with a pan, but I don't think they would need cooked. I was listening to a podcast recently. I'm trying out all these new podcasts and stuff. And one of the people on the podcast talked about eating spaghetti, like SpaghettiOs, out of a can cold, and how they were delicious. I thought that was really odd to think about eating like a cold, like obviously they're meant to be microwaved, but they come pre-cooked. And yeah, he talked about just eating SpaghettiOs cold out of the can, and they're delicious. I actually put that in my story. I thought, it's the apocalypse in my story. Why not? It's such a weird thing, So I had my character, is kind of incompetent. He doesn't really know how to be a survivor. And, yeah, he just pops a can of spaghetti and eats it out of the can. I thought that would be an interesting thing to add. So we've got these cargo spaces in our vehicle. What else do we need? We have the bed, so we can now move somewhat freely around. We can sleep in there if we need to. We do need to put curtains on it. Why don't... There should be sheets here. Why don't we haul this miscellaneous garbage over here? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to be short a sheet. Go ahead and pop in here and tear down this other window. Tear down these curtains, and we'll take those out as well. That way we have enough for everything. I don't know what you need to install a curtain. We might need some strings or something. Go ahead and install heavy duty reinforced windshield. Install curtain. Requires screw driving. Sure, screw driving. Curtain. Yeah, not much else going on with me. I have my appointment with my psych tomorrow. I'm very, very nervous. We have to talk about some heavy stuff that I'm a little concerned is going to be... Oh, these doors aren't opaque either. I see. So we're going to want to do something about that. Because if we just... Actually, you can't really see it from the rear of the vehicle. So if we were in bed, nothing would be able to see us with the curtains closed. I still would feel more comfortable if we put an opaque door on here, or alternatively put a door in the middle section here. But I usually like to use this space. So I was planning to eventually tear out these boards and put other stuff in. And if we put a door here and our whole vehicle, you know, as a container requires a door to be there, that would make that more work later on. We could change the doors to opaque. That does make it harder when you're driving. Yeah, let's just put a door in the middle section, I think. So we're going to need a door here. I don't love how the whole vehicle is heavy duty. I would like to remove some of that. I know that's counterintuitive. A lot of you really swear by the heavy duty frames and stuff, but it just doesn't mean that much to me. So we'll come over here with the frame. And we'll install an opaque door in this middle section over the aisle. Do we have to remove the aisle? Probably, right? Take that aisle out. And install internal door. Interior door, solid construction. You can't see through it. Lets you move from inside the vehicle to outside or vice versa. Yeah, but it says internal. Prevents people from entering or leaving. Keeps the rain out of the interior. I don't understand. What's the difference between that and opaque door? Basically the same thing. Okay. Openable, boardable, opaque. Same thing. Just put the opaque door in. Who cares? Just a door. I don't know. Hopefully it looks okay. Yeah, it looks fine. Oh, it's a little odd that it shifts from one side to the other when you open and close it. I don't like that, but that's fine. So now we have a closed interior. Why does this tile look different? There's a door back here? I did not even notice that. Okay. And this is a, what kind of door? Heavy duty opaque. I mean, that's fine. I don't need that, but that's okay. Yeah, see, this one opens and closes on the same side. This one flip-flops. That's so odd. Maybe I installed it wrong. Doesn't matter. So now we have a closed up interior. We could take this baby on the road if we wanted to. I don't remember. What do you need for rams? If I just wanted to install a ram on the front. Say spiked ram. Requires spiked plating. Steel ram. Steel plating. So we don't have any plating. And that's something I believe you need a forge to make yourself. Composite ram requires plating. So all the rams require plating or the armor kits, and we don't have the ability to make these armor kits. We can make hard plating from lumps of steel, I believe, but again, it requires a forge, which we don't have. We could work towards building a forge. We, you know, have been doing a lot of looting, so it might be nice to try and do something a little bit more constructive. I think, doesn't the forge... Go back. Forge require a high fab or something? Rockforge, Fab 5. We have books that'll take us to 4. What does the kiln need? Charcoal kiln, Fab 3. We do have a shovel, so we don't need to worry about the digging tool. Let's block this back up a little bit so we don't have zombies getting in too easily. Fab 4 we can get. Fab 5 will be a little bit more tricky. Again, I can't look at my books because they're in the dark, so let's sort them and then haul them to the light. Such a pain in the butt. So we're looking for something that takes us to Fab 5. Okay, we have a book to take us to Fab 6. So we can get to Fab 5. We'll need to spend a day or two reading, though, which is not great. 28 minutes for that timer. Where's the other Fab book we have? 28 minutes on that one as well. Those are the only two. Okay, so it's going to be slow going, and it doesn't matter which one we read because the chapter lengths are the same. So let's haul our books back down here. I don't want to spend all day reading. We're lightly weary. We haven't done anything. We just woke up like 4 hours ago, and all we did was install some vehicle parts, like curtains. That shouldn't make us weary. So we're weary. What a weird... Well, weary is based on calories, right? Maybe if we eat more calories, we would be... No, wait. Weariness is when you're burning more calories. No, it's a limit put on you so that it will encourage you to stop doing so much so that you stop consuming calories. It's not directly tied to how many calories I ate today, for instance. Well, okay. So we will just sit around and read. I was going to go loot for a little while, then come back and read, but we'll just sit here and read for a bit. Yeah, so I got some stuff done today. I'm worried about my psych appointment tomorrow. You feel like you've exerted yourself a bit. You're feeling a bit better rested from your exertions. So I was weary, then now I'm not weary. Why would it go away though? I thought it only went away when you... It's a very new system. The weariness thing is very new. So I'm not very experienced with it. We're also extremely hot. Take off that duster. That should basically solve all of those problems. Nope, still our hands and torso are hot. Really. We're wearing the vest, and that's really it on our torso. We can take off the gloves, though. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to shed that heat off our torso. All right, let's eat some dinner. Oh, are we naked? I think we're naked on our legs. Am I really not wearing any kind of undergarment? Okay, let's see if we can find... We're a lady, right? See if we can find some underwear in here. Long underwear is not going to do it. Oh, briefs. Briefs work. It's a weird thing for a lady to wear, but that's fine. We'll throw on a pair of male briefs. It's fine. I believe there are, like, female briefs, quote unquote, but it's not the same thing as what we have in the game. I believe these are distinctly male. So that's a bit odd to wear, someone else's underwear. Never a pleasant experience. Let us just eat something. Let's not cook. Oh, did we make any extra food? Do we have any extra food? No. Maybe we should be cooking. I really don't know. Let's have a look at what we have here. Because we have bread. Bread tends to go bad, and, you can make sandwiches out of bread and biscuits and things like that. We don't have a lot of meat products. We have some bologna. We have a lot of bread. Cornbread, too. Most of what we have is like junk food snack type stuff. We have some raw pasta. We can make some pasta. Let's start a fire, even though we're hot. Start a fire. Take a look at our food menu. Yeah, I'm nervous about my psych appointment, and I know that I probably shouldn't be, but it's one of those things. It's like, until it's over, I'm gonna feel really, really uncomfortable. How many portions? Okay, 2 portions each. Use the biscuits, I guess. And we'll eat some meat sandwiches. Put a lot of calories in us today, which is beneficial. So we eat quite a lot there. and then we will go back out, and we were gonna do something else, I think. I don't remember what now, so we'll just go back to reading, because I've already forgotten. So are we still... Yeah, we're a bit uncomfortable. It's so odd that our legs are hot when literally all we're wearing is briefs. Like, we were just naked, and we were probably still hot, despite it only being springtime. I don't know. I don't know if being in the direct sunlight actually affects that or not. Let's keep reading our fab. Should have put in our earbuds. Should have done that. I believe we have that in our... No, we don't. Okay. Let's grab ourselves an MP3 player. None of them. That one has batteries. That'll do. Put in our music. Everything's easier with music. And we will go back to reading. Actually, I need a question. We should get a question. Because I'm just going to end up talking about my psych, which is, you know, depressing. So let's just get a question. Let's not look at the screen. Scroll. What is... Oh, no, I can't see it now. What are some misconceptions about your hobby? Okay. Well, my two main hobbies are YouTube and writing would be my two main hobbies. Video games, obviously, are something as well, but let's just go with writing and YouTube, because those are the two things that I've been spending the majority of my time on, and the things that I would like to do long-term, both as a hobby and as a... Like, I suspect that for the rest of my life, I'm probably going to continue being a writer. That seems like something that doesn't go away. Even if I'm not very good at it, even if it never amounts to anything, it's important to me, so I'm going to keep doing it. And then YouTube for the foreseeable future is also something I probably will continue to do. Have ourselves some fruit leather, why not? And then we'll pop over here, get something to drink. Have yourself another beer. Belgian ale, sure. And I think we are well and truly out of clean water now. Why don't we empty one of these jugs? We'll empty the ammonia. I think the bleach has more value. So we'll empty a jug of ammonia onto the ground. Pour to the ground. Did that do it? It didn't print a message about me dumping it. It did. So we'll come back and we'll cook all the water we have into clean water. We already have a log in the fire there. Make some water. So yeah, I foresee myself doing YouTube for, you know, at least a couple more years, you know, minimally, even if it doesn't work out long term. It's something I plan to do for a while. So writing and YouTube. Drink some hot water. Ugh, yum. Very hot falling. Yeah, we were standing next to that fire for a while. Temperature in Cataclysm is continually an issue. I don't really know what to do about it. A lot of times I don't think there is something you can do. No, don't sleep. You're supposed to read. We're not tired yet. So once the sun goes down and we have to... oh, apparently it's light enough that we can keep reading outside. We're tired now. I didn't want to come in and read by the fire because of our temperature issues. So there's that. I am going to put on our clothes before we go to bed. I know we're going to be hot sleeping, but like, just in case something pops up in the middle of the night. And why don't we have ourselves a snack before we go to bed? Something I generally do not recommend. Shouldn't really eat before you go to sleep. It's in my experience, whenever I eat before I go to sleep, I have trouble sleeping, and sometimes I have more dreams then. So what did it say? What are some misconceptions about your hobby? Well, I think YouTube, people have this idea of YouTubers as one particular thing. If you ask a stranger on the street what they think of YouTubers, their first thought is probably someone like Logan Paul, who is a vile and despicable human being that I think both of the Paul brothers are actually really terrible people. And unfortunately, they are very much, very popular. They're very representative of YouTubers in many people's minds because they had a lot of publicity and are very, very popular. I think they're disgusting. I don't like either of them, and everything I hear about them makes me think that they are probably really selfish, well, we don't have to talk about it. They seem like bad people, though. And unfortunately, that is what a lot of people think of if you bring up some like YouTube stuff, particularly older people who only see, news and stuff and don't actually interact with the community. And the reality is, YouTubers are vastly different. There are many, many different types of YouTubers. I myself am not your typical YouTuber. I'm someone who focuses primarily on talking with you and telling you anecdotes and trying to, and I make jokes about it all the time. Like when I see Twitch streamers and they don't talk for 45 seconds, and like how I strive to be like constantly speaking so that, you constantly have information coming at you, even if it's not like, super relevant, like important stuff. At least I'm talking and it's not dead air, So I don't know, we're all vastly different. You look at one YouTuber compared to another YouTuber, they're going to be different people. And so I think generalizing in those regards is something that is just kind of harmful. I don't think you should generalize, YouTubers as, this guy or that guy or this lady or whatever. So I think that's a pretty common misconception. People think that they're all PewDiePie, these high energy, people who make crazy noises and use sound effects in their stuff and that sort of thing. And not all is that, like if you look at YouTube, it is broken down primarily into two large groups. There are entertainers and then there are educators. That is 99% of YouTube falls into that category. It's either informational content, a tutorial, like I just changed my headlight. So like if I needed help with that, I could have gone to YouTube and typed in my car name and said like, how do I change the headlight? And that would be educational content, how to, raise your kids, what news content that's informational, all that kind of stuff falls in that side of things. And then there are entertainers, which range from, vlogs sometimes to video game content to, all kinds of different stuff. And so there are like subcategories, don't get me wrong, but each person needs to be evaluated individually because they're vastly different. I'm very different from most YouTubers just because of who I am and what I talk about. And like I have a very dark worldview, which is something you rarely see on YouTube. People are often afraid to talk about those things. People don't like to talk about mental health. People don't like to talk about, bad memories and things like that, even though it's a part of them. And I don't really have a filter. But anyway, that's enough of that. Is it really nighttime again? Okay, we slept through that whole day, I guess. We need to keep reading. I want to get to Fab 5. I hate passing this much time. Every day that goes by, the zombies are getting tougher and we're not really doing much to help ourselves. The forge will be a nice step. We can start manufacturing proper weapons, but like, this is taking a minute and I don't love it. We should also have checked on our vehicle to make sure we turned that off and everything. I'm afraid we might have left it on or something. We have diesel, the batteries aren't dead, so we weren't charging or anything. Okay. So head back in. Yeah, this reading's taking a minute. I don't love... I mean, where are we at with Fab? Maybe we could craft something that would raise it faster. 68%. I think we just finished reading, to be honest. We're going to need to make a wood run soon, too, to get more wood. We're running low on wood. And then misconceptions about writers. There are a lot of those as well. I think people have this idea that writers are snooty and kind of like they think they're better than everyone around them. And yes, stop. Breathe in some smoke to where we got winded. I do wish there was something while you were reading where your character will auto step out of the fire, auto step away from the smoke if you're reading, because obviously a normal person would not just stand there and breathe in smoke until they couldn't breathe anymore. So I think writers get a bad rap. I think people have this idea that all writers are like alcoholics or really holier than thou types that think they're better than everyone else. Like that's a very common thing that people seem to have a misconception about. I don't think that they're all like, I think they exist for sure, but I don't think that that represents the majority. It's the same thing. You know, people in day-to-day life, you really like to generalize everyone. We like to categorize the world into understandable pieces. So we as human beings will look around and say, we look for patterns, we look for ways to categorize people. And so a lot of times we see images or we hear stories that we then focus on and accept as truth for an entire group instead of making our mind up for people individually, if that makes sense. Give me this baseball bat. Give me the baseball bat. It doesn't matter which, I guess. They're both sturdy, but we can actually repair bat. We can repair the wooden ones. We can't repair the aluminum. Oh, I guess we can. We have a welder now. Well, whatever. We're going to go smash some vehicles for parts. Actually, does that even work anymore? Someone said vehicles are much harder to smash now. Just give this a shot. Sorry for the thumping. You don't seem to be damaging the pavement. I'm not really trying to... not trying to work the pavement, trying to work the car. We need chunks. Maybe the lamppost. Really, you can't even smash the lamppost. There we go. We did not get chunks. We only got scrap. Which is super odd considering how huge a lamppost is. You wouldn't expect... I mean, they're hollow, I believe. Like, they would have to be hollow, but you would expect more than scrap metal. Whatever. This is a problem for the next episode. So I think people tend to generalize no matter what group you're talking about. People like to try and categorize everyone and lump everyone together into understandable groups. So when you hear a lot of stories about old writers who are alcoholics, who are very wistful and depressed, and people think like, oh, well, all writers must be like that. Or you see YouTubers who pop up in the news. Oh, well, she's technically a Twitch streamer. I was going to say Belle Delphine is in the news all the time. And people like criticize her, for instance, and they like to lump her into this simplistic box. I've never seen a Belle Delphine stream or anything like that. But honestly, when I hear her exploits, my first thought is like, that chick has hustle. She's raking in the money. Because she's like a shrewd, she knows what she's doing business-wise. She sold people bathwater. That is a huge entrepreneurial thing. Like, that's crazy that she found that subsection of her audience that she could monetize in some way, who would actually purchase something like that. So, like, people like to just dismiss these things. Like Logan Paul. I don't like Logan Paul. But the things that he's done and the popularity he's gained, it's hard to categorize. It's so... This is too much talking for the end of an episode. Everybody, thanks for watching. People get in their head certain ideas of other people, and we write them off instead of recognizing that they are a complicated human being that has a myriad of experiences that shape them into the person that they are. And we very quickly dismiss them as one-note people. I hate the Paul brothers, but it's not because of generalizations. It's because... they have a proven track record and have repeatedly done these things over and over and over. But anyway, that's enough. I'm sure that was rambly. Everybody, thanks for watching. Hopefully you had a good time. I, of course, will be back with more Cataclysm tomorrow. Thanks for being here. See you next time.